Borrowed time.
The old man sat at the edge of the weather-worn pier, his bare feet swaying just inches above the tide. His watch ticked like a heartbeat on his wrist. Steady-shant, knowing. Overhead, the sky was painted with dusk, the sun melting into the horizon like candle wax. Elias the Clockmaker was waiting. Not for anyone, for something. He always came here in the evenings now, ever since the ticking had grown louder. Not in the world, but in him. It echoed in his bones, beat behind his eyes. Time was calling in a debt. In town, Elias was a curiosity, a fixture. People swore he'd been there forever. He'd been the one to fix their grandmother's mantel clock, the cuckoo in the antique shop, the town hall tower bell when it cracked from lightning in '73. He was older than the telephone lines, older than the asphalt on the streets. Children whispered that he was a wizard. Adults half believed it. He lived in a crooked little shop at the edge of Main Street called Elias and Time, a place filled with clocks of every shape and sound. Grandfather clocks that groaned, pocket watches with faded monograms, delicate porcelain clocks that chimed in haunting minor keys. There was even a clock that ticked backward, though no one but Elias could explain why. But what people didn't know, what couldn't be seen, was the heart of the shop, a hidden room behind a wall of false gears and ancient schematics. And in that room sat the chronotheon. It didn't look like much, a spindly machine of brass and crystal, humming with a faint blue glow. Its centerpiece was a pendulum made from obsidian and something that looked like frozen lightning. It didn't measure time. It borrowed it from places that no longer existed, from lives unlived, from futures abandoned in dreams. Elias had made it with hands driven by love and desperation. Decades ago, when Liora had fallen ill, time had become his enemy. The doctors were kind but hopeless. A month, maybe, they had said, eyes heavy. Liora had smiled softly at the news. She always smiled, even in pain. But Elias couldn't. He couldn't watch the world fold around her absence. He couldn't accept that a heart so vibrant could stop simply because a calendar said so. So he begged time. Not with words, but with gears and solder. He worked in madness, obsession. He crafted something that shouldn't exist, a loophole in the universe. And it worked. Liora lived. 1 month became 2, then 6, then a year. Her laughter returned. Her color. She even danced again on the shores near the pier, her dress catching wind like sails. But the chronotheon didn't give time freely. It borrowed, and all debts demand payment. The years Elias had stolen had to come from somewhere. Not from others, but from himself. At first, he didn't notice. A stiffness in the joints, a cough that wouldn't fade. But soon, time began to unravel him. 1 year after Liora passed, for good this time, Elias began to age. Not slowly, like others, but all at once. Days collapsed into each other. His hair turned white overnight. He started seeing things that shouldn't be there. Phantoms of clocks running backward, people frozen mid-step on the street, whispers from chimes that had no source. He accepted it. It was fair. He had broken the rules. Now, he returned to the pier each evening with the same ritual. He would sit, feel the ocean air, and wait, because he knew the exact second when time would come to collect in full. On this particular evening, the sky was velvet with early stars. The watch on his wrist, a gift from Liora on their first anniversary, ticked louder than usual. "You're early," he muttered to the empty wind. From behind, a voice answered, not cruel, but ancient, measured. "Time is never early, Elias." The air shimmered, and beside him appeared a figure clothed in shadow and light. It had no face, only a shifting mosaic of turning gears and falling sand. Elias didn't flinch. "So this is it?" he asked. The figure nodded. "Your loan is complete. The time you borrowed must now be returned." Elias looked out over the water. She lived. She danced again. That was enough. Time said nothing. It did not bargain. It did not comfort. Elias reached into his coat and pulled out an old photograph, creased at the edges, colors faded. Liora stood in a summer field, mid-laugh, one hand brushing back her hair. He pressed a kiss to it and slipped it into the sea. The tide would carry it far, maybe to somewhere that still remembered her. Do others try to steal time? He asked. Some do, the figure replied. Most fail. Some break more than they mend. And the ones who succeed? They pay, as you have. Elias nodded, then smiled weakly. Then let's not keep you waiting. The figure extended a hand, not as a threat, but as a final invitation. Elias stood slowly, his frame fragile but proud. He took the hand, and the moment he did, time folded inward. He vanished, not in a burst, but like mist in sunlight, like a chapter closed mid-sentence. Back in the town, the clocks in his shop all stopped at once. The lights dimmed. The air stilled. And in the hidden chamber behind the false wall, the Chronotheon gave one final tick and went silent. No one found it. The shop was boarded up, turned into a bakery years later. Children passed by, not knowing what once ticked behind those walls. But sometimes, just sometimes, if someone with a broken heart wanders in late at night, the air will shimmer faintly, and a whisper will echo between the walls. Time is a machine, and machines can be fixed. And somewhere, deep beneath layers of time and dust, a heartbeat of gears will begin again, offering just one more chance on borrowed time.